This whole parade is out of order because our household is out of order. What is all in verse 3? This whole parade is out of order. Everybody say the black woman is the backbone of the black community. Y'all are broken backbone. Y'all are broken backbone in our communities. Read this, come on. That book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. Yeah, y'all get this word today. Yeah, we love it. Yeah, we love it. Read this, come on. My God will have you know that the head of every man is Christ. The Bible says the head of every black man is Christ. The black Messiah, come on. And the head of the woman is the man. Read it again. And the head of the woman is the man. The Bible says the head of the black woman is the black man. Let's say you humble down to that. Your community. Y'all hate God, and y'all put on a show for the other nations. Read this, come on. We more than a damn blue shiesty mask and guns on our head. We better than that. We better than a baby daddy, 3 fake baby daddies and stretch marks to show for it. That's all you got to show for is the stretch marks. Pregnant and barefoot with no father. Pregnant and barefoot with no husband. I'm glad you do. Read it again, come on. No. Either way they understand. They won't play it. When it's time to know what they do, they won't. Do a great thing. Hey, they put their hand on somebody, call the police. They won't call the police. Y'all want to jail?
I'm like that police. Now we're going to jail.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rucha HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to the other elders, you brethren, you fellow believers of this truth. Shalom to you other supporters, brethren and sisters. Shalom to the elect. So, saw this video by Captain Yada, I think is his name. And you see these runaway banshees that is completely out of control. Now, is this a woman? This is not women, by the way. These are enemies, right? And their reign is up. And this is why they're behaving like that. The jig is up. We knew about your fake monogamous relationships. Those monogamous relationships was designed to keep men neutered because you followed the so-called white man's process. But then you kept sleeping around, right? These are mean, evil people who claim to be Christians, right? Christians. This is what Christianity has created. There's got to be some type of man for this, but, you know, they have to be wicked themselves to want to be with a woman like that. And then they have their own little daughters going up and hitting grown men with sticks, with swords. How do you do something like that? And this is how other nations look in and they see how destroyed we are. This little girl don't know what the hell she's doing, right? She's following her mother. She's already toast, right? And these same women will cry to Trump and get on their knees and beg Donald Trump, a white man with a possible tube or man unit on. And they would plead with him to feed them, right? But this is what it is, right? This is the demonic woman. Stay away from him. Stay away from him. These same women will put a smile on your face. They will make you believe that they're righteous, but they're evil. And this is a whole pack of them. This is a whole pack of them. And they will never go up to white men in suits and do this. So we see racism amongst our own. They should be on the ADL, right? But the white man's not going to do that because that's their lovers. But anyway, let's go to Isaiah 32:9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. The more you see this, the more disgusting it really is. And what they're doing to their children is the Lord then gave them up. The little children are twerking. They're hitting grown men. And I remember when I was young, I was told, don't never put your hand on a woman. Right? That's what they tell me. Don't ever put your hand on a girl. These are now women, number one. But they grew up being allowed to do this. And now these men are laying these women out, and they're crying and complaining that they're being abused. All of them are divorced. All of them are probably carrying HIV or some type of disease. Right? This is destruction. And when other nations look at this, I don't know how any other nation would want to marry something like that. This is why they're unmarriageable. Right? How do you look as a Chinese man and look at this and say, oh, I wouldn't marry it? Maybe because it's a transgender role, I guess. These women are like men. They're spitting on the IUIC. They're throwing water on them, right? They're hitting them with all kinds of toys. They're hitting the camera. I remember they came up to us for no reason to hit the camera out, try to hit the camera out of our hand. For no reason. Yeah. Okay, you can't say we ain't under the curses. Anyway, Romans 9:13. This is NIV, so it'll be more understanding. Folly is unruly. Folly is an unruly woman. She is simple and knows nothing. She sits at the door of her house on a seat at the highest point of the city, calling out those who pass by. And you know damn well this happened to all of us, most of us anyway. You see that nice looking woman, or she don't have to be all that nice looking, but she shows you interest. She shows that looks like she care about you. She acts like she loves you. She might even say she believes in being a Hebrew Israelite. But understand, this is all a trap, right? Who go straight on their way? Let all who are simple come to my house, right? To those who have no sense, she says, stolen waters is sweet. Food eaten in secret is delicious. These are all adulterous women, right? You at work, men coming up in there, rolling in, rolling out. They telling you they don't have nobody. They sleeping around on the man they with. And then a lot of you jakes, they use your own pride against you. They use your own, when you look at your esteem, they use it against you. They'll say, well, yeah, he just wasn't treating me right. He wasn't any good. I don't like him. But you are good. You are nice looking and you care. That's why we say don't mess with an adulterous woman. Well, you're not supposed to. That's the law. But a lot of you jakes, you fell for the hook, line, and sinker. If she's doing it to another man, she will do it to you. And the next man come along, she'll do it to him. Right? But little do they know that the dead are there. That her guests are deep in the realm of the dead. These women make up wicked, evil philosophies, man. You're tricked. You have no idea what the hell is going on. They have a lot of bodies on them, and you don't know it, right? It says, but little do they know, talking about these men, it says stolen water is sweet. They love it, man. You know? They love the sickness, right? There's women who get off on adultery, just like the men, but there's women who get off on this, man. These women are pissed off because you see grown men telling them what to do. This is why we don't go down in them hoods and try to mess with them women, right? Grown men telling them, look, be quiet, cover yourself up, right? These are grown men. We're different than you. We have higher testosterone. I heard the WNBA was on strike for what? A high school team would kick their ass, man. So I don't know. Feminism has psychologically destroyed black women. They really think they the shit. They got their spandies on. They think big booties is what make them. But little do you know that the dead was there all the time, right? They done collected a lot of bodies. They done collected a lot of bodies. You Jake better wake up. I talked to some brothers in the truth too. You Jake better wake up, man. You know, and this goes for myself, but I'm saying you Jakes better wake up. Anyway, 1 Timothy 2:12. Now, make no mistake, 90% of women can turn up just like these banshees. 90% of women can turn into these women. The sweetest, softest woman can turn into one of these banshees right before your eyes, man. And you won't know what happened. Yeah, it happened to me quite a few times. I'm like, what the hell? Especially that demon right there. That black demon with orange hair in her head. You know? How the hell are these women? Woman means female servant. Look at this. This is insane. What man would mess with something like that? It's always a desperado, right? It's always a desperado. When the wind blows, he's ready to go, right? 1 Timothy 2:12. I do not permit a woman to teach or to exercise authority over a man. Rather, she is to remain quiet. Make no mistake, this happened in other nations too. Feminism has ran rampant. But all men have to do is keep their peace, right? They don't need to mess with them women, right? I mean, if you really think about it, if you're taking these women out to high-cost restaurants, you could have got a harlot much cheaper than that, because that's all you're messing with anyway. She's up for sale. Like if Steph Curry come walking through, right? Any top athlete or well-known singer, Chris Brown, whatever, all these women would bow down on their knees, literally, and do whatever it takes, literally, while they're on their knees for these men. And anybody could tell me I'm lying, but I'm not. Right? See, they don't see the value in Israelites. Some will. There's some women who'll look up and say, wait a minute, there's something seriously happening. Right? Some will. But the majority of these women right now, they're not going to see it. So we don't try to wake their asses up. You leave these banshees right where they're at, man. These wild hyenas. Leave them where they're at. Let them go. You know, stop trying to reach them. I would not go into a public arena with a bunch of black women and tell them they got to put on dresses, you know, saying put on a head covering. You can hang that up. You know, that's not the way to do it. That's why the scripture says ye men are called. And the men, if they get one of these banshees, which I hope they wouldn't, and try to convert one of these banshees, right? If they please to dwell with them, then so be it. But do you see the little girl? This is what's disturbing. They had the little girl. Look at that. The little girl, she just looking, you see what she did? She looked at the woman in the green. She, the woman in the green, throw the water. So she looked at the woman in the green, and then she just copied right behind her. These young girls don't even know what they're seeing, right? Now the older young woman did, and these banshees are spitting. They're doing all kinds of stuff. Now there was no police, and you was allowed to put hands on them. They would call for the other simps of the hood to come protect them. So you know if they treat, look at Big Shirley in the pink. Big Shirley in the pink. That's Big Shirley right there. Big Wanda. You know? Look at her in the pink. That's evil. You know? Proverbs 4 says, enter not in the path of the wicked. Pass by it. Don't go nowhere near it. This is the wicked. I have no idea where IUIC is. I know they're probably near a church. These are all more likely Christian women. Right? And this is what slave plantation Christianity has taught us. Has not told us to put our women in order. In fact, the Christians that come out that run up on Israelites and preaching the Bible, their men are off too. There's no way these women are supposed to be doing this. These women are completely out of order. And judgment is going to come to them, as Jeremiah 4 say, when thou spoiled, what will thy do? Though thou clothest thyself with crimson and gold and fake hair and, lacquer in their heads and shit like that, molasses on their face, when they throw all that Ringling Brothers makeup on their face, when that judgment come, thy lovers will despise thee. They will seek thy life. And Trump is already showing an example of that. Good for you, Eves, man. Now to the sisters that's sincere, it's a different ball game. You have to stay sincere. 1 Timothy 2:12, I do not permit a woman to teach nor usurp authority over the man. So let's go to Titus 2. The aged woman likewise, and I guarantee all these black ass women Christians, so-called black, right? They're Christians. They believe in Jesus. You know why the image mattered when they gave us the white Jesus? Because they don't see the image of the Messiah, the true Messiah, Yahushua. That's why. If we had our original image, the true image of the Messiah, shown until all of us, even the young black girls, so-called black girls and Hispanics, they would look at that picture and say, that's my Lord, right? And psychologically, right, they would look at their own husbands and say, well, that's my Lord. He's out of that line. But when you see a white Jesus, that doesn't do well. So the so-called black woman will say, well, that's my Lord. And this is why she needs white men. This is why she needs so-called white preachers to stand up and teach the gospel, or black preachers ran by white unions to teach the gospel, to tell them what they've already thought or what been taught. His color doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. The reason why these black women say it doesn't matter, because they hate the fact that the Messiah is so-called black. They hate themselves. They want to be white. And this is why most of the majority of these black women have secretly messed with white men. I've even heard it from white men. But they don't want them. If I went to China and all their women was disgusted at their husbands, or let me say at their men, and treated them like shit, stabbed them and took them all to child support, you didn't know who the child was, why the hell would I mess with them? I'm going to go to a nation of women that is submissive and feminine. That's what I would do. Why are these men still messing with these type of women, except they're just as wicked? A wicked portion, right? The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior and become in holiness, not false accusers, not giving too much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, right? To be sober. Let's look up sober. I got to do that in a video. I try to look up a word every once in a while. Comfort, console, reduced to a quiet condition. We can also go into the Apocrypha, Sirach 26, I believe, or 25. From sober, the shameless woman is counted as a dog, as Sirach 26:25 say. We know what a female dog is, right? From sober, the sense from intoxication, the extended sense of bring back to reality. That's why the scriptures in Deuteronomy 28 says, the tender and delicate woman, her eye shall be evil towards her husband. Make no mistake, the Lord has done this. He's blinded him. And until we can get our power back, right, a woman can never fully respect you. It's the sad truth, but it is true, right? Whenever she sees your credit card, right, she's using you, right? She sees your credit card. She sees that cash. She sees that face on the money. She sees Visa. She sees MasterCard, American Express, Discover. All these things she sees. She understands it's by a higher regime, right? And they own it. So she can never really fully respect you until the spirit is lifted up in her to understand you really own all things. This is really yours. Until sisters can see in their spirit, this is yours. The Lord gave it to you, right? They're just borrowing it. All that gold and everything, That's all ours. The Lord has set up these people to show you how the earth is run. Wickedness. To make this distinction between something good and something evil. I believe Apostle Rumlup said that at camp yesterday. I never forgot that. It makes sense, and we know it, but when you hear it and you continue to hear it, you know, it resonates. These people were created to show us how the earth is supposed to not be run. You know what I'm saying? And when we start getting this earth back in order, our women will be in order. Let me say the earth will be in order, and we'll be at rest. You see what I'm saying? The sense of render, grave or serious, attested. To become sober. That's pretty much it. The bottom line is to be quiet. Comfort. Is this comfort? Half these women got probably 5 different baby daddies, right? They're getting child support from each one. They're getting EBT. Some of them may work. They're getting paid with overpriced jobs that's overpaying them, right? But wait till AI step in and take everything you got. You'll see. Comfort, cheer, console, grief, soothe when in grief or trouble. This is all most men ask for. Even the wicked men want comfort. You can't make that up. Even wicked men want comfort. All right. Anyway, to love their husbands, to love their children. You can't love your children allowing your child to go up and hit grown men. How would that marriage work out when they get older? They're going to beat on men? See, the thing about the black woman, what she don't understand, is we don't need you. We don't. There's many other nationalities that are crying to be with Jake. When I was younger and I lived in a group home, all the white women called me a black king. And other Jakes, I'm sure, I don't remember them telling them, but I'm sure they loved us. These were Edomites and some Moabites that I remember, right? They all called us so-called black kings. Where did they get it from? Their families was racist. So where did they find this from? Why did they do this? And these women will look at everything I'm talking about the Edomites, they would look at everything that you wanted and paid attention and would get it for you. But you know what the black woman did? She felt she was privileged and you must bow down to her. And obviously the type of man I am, I never did. I never bowed down to some goddamn woman. None of them. And the Lord's will, I will never have to or never will. Anyway, be sober, love their husband and their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, right? To be quiet, chaste, keepers at home, right? Good, obedient to their own husbands. See, you Christians, you didn't do a good job reading the Bible to any of us because you said we don't need laws. But all this is being quoted pretty much from the law to a degree. I mean, the scripture says husbands love your wives, wives love your husbands. Right? You should already know the man was created for the woman. I mean, the woman was created for the man, not the man for the woman. It gave you the situation in Genesis about Eve and her transgression. So the preachers have not been good teachers according to the Bible. And this is a prime example of it. That's all I have on that. Shalom.